before COVID, 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence. 1 in 7 will lose their life to domestic violence. Pre-COVID, men were 1 in 7 that they will experience domestic violence. After COVID, 1 in 3 women are experiencing domestic violence. 1 in 4 men are experiencing domestic violence.
All right, welcome everyone to another amazing and beautiful episode on the One Moment Podcast. I am your boy, KO, also known as Kevin, right? I am your co-host. Listen, we have an amazing young lady on our show. She was actually here before, almost a year ago to the date. Almost. She was one of our first, I think, 10 people who were on. So, yeah, it's been a whole year since we've been in operation, been a whole new 2026, and I love it. Um, and so let's jump straight into it. Everybody knows her, Miss Sassy, as I like to call her.
I've been called worse, Kevin. Thank you. And you are bringing tears to my eyes. Thank you so much for the introduction.
Absolutely.
You can call me Sassy. You can call me Christine. You can call me Sassy Christine. You can call me whatever you want. And thank you. I can't believe it's a year, almost a year. That's just amazing that given our circumstances and given our background, both of us, okay, that we're here. We're here to make a difference in everybody's lives. I love it. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. No, you're right. It's all about making a difference in somebody else's life. You know, it's literally the epitome of putting other people before us, regardless of circumstances, regardless of what's going on around us. Is still taking the effort to put somebody else above us because we don't do it because we get paid and we're freaking millionaires over it. No.
Nope. No, we do it because, I've always said that if something that I say makes an impact with just one woman or one man out there, I've done my job. I've done my job. Now, obviously, I want to help and impact as many people as possible.
Right.
However I can do it. So that's what I do.
Right. No, absolutely right. It reminds me of the idea, and I think we've all heard this growing up, or at least sometime, leave things better off than what you found it. And I think that's really what you and I are both shooting to do, leave the world in a better place than what we found it.
Yes. Yes, that is my vision, is that every man and woman is healed from abuse and domestic violence, to completely eradicate abuse and domestic violence. That is my stand. That's my mission. That's my vision. That's what I work hard towards every single day, to bring that awareness. And am I silly enough to think it's going to happen in my lifetime? Girl, I mean, you said that I was 60, a young lady. I'm 60 years old. Okay. Do I think this is going to happen in my lifetime? No. And I know that, and I'm not silly about that, but I am making a difference every single day from, the blogs that I put out there, the posts that I put out there, the women and men that I interact with, that I coach, everywhere, no matter where it shows up, and of course, I know you want to get to it, the SASSI Village Foundation. So, I mean, that's really my dream. That is how I want to truly make a difference in the world, with that nonprofit, to that woman and man has a place to go to be able to heal and learn and grow and have a community that they can be with. I mean, we know through NA and NA and every other one out there that you need that community to just for support, for help, So that's what I do.
I'm glad you said that. I was asked earlier, right? No, and what I want anybody who watches this, or if y'all listening to this, take away from at least the first part of this, is the fact that what she's saying is right. Community, right? Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, some of those recovery spiritual programs, such as like your church programs that are built around recovery. If you look at a lot of your Eastern cultures, right? Native people, Hispanics, Indian, China, um, Middle Eastern, a lot of those focus and are built around community with one another, right? And
Mhm.
so what she's saying is absolutely critical to recovery and to our survival as a species. And
Yeah.
to catch people up, SASSI in the SASSI Villages is a program that we are helping, or she is, and we're just helping her, right? We're all in this thing together. We are helping to push and get, continuing to push the ideal and open a program and build a program that is around the idea of surviving domestic violence or escaping domestic violence. And you having a
Yeah.
safe place to go. And we're also talking about building bridges and gaps and breaking stigmas along the pathway. So that's the current, or well, that's the old episode. That's like, an hour and a half into the package. So we're here to talk about domestic violence and progress on SASSI Village and everything else. So, yeah, now you were saying that you had found a property in Tennessee, and what's going
Yes.
on with that?
Okay, so it is a beautiful piece of property. It is my vision of where the very first Sassy Village is formed and where it can then become um, ground zero, so to speak, and headquarters for every other. Because my vision is to have Sassy villages all across the world, wherever they are needed to build those communities for women and men to come to be able to, you know, I'm gonna get carried away. You know how this is my passion. I mean, I could talk all day long about this. So they are that property in Tennessee is roughly 250 acres. It is declared a historic site. It is completely gutted. It is like primed and ready to go for something to be there. Okay. Um, I was up in September and did a whole walkthrough of this property. I mean, it's full basement. The first floor, there's a community kitchen, a community dining room. There's even a spare room for a really huge daycare that can handle, if women are there and they're working, that we can have somebody, certified and qualified to be able to take care of the kids during the day so that they can still go and earn a living because financial abuse is huge right now. Absolutely huge. Um, Enough bedrooms to house, for women to have their own space, for about 10 women to be there. And like I said, to be the headquarters for every other village that will then come along. And to be able to be able to have, so one of my part part of my vision of having this sassy village is that it is almost 100% sustainable, every single one, whether it's in downtown Houston or in the hills and mountains of Tennessee. Okay, it doesn't matter, or anywhere across the oceans. Okay, so this will be the first one where we can actually replicate what works, what doesn't work. Because it's 250 acres, we can have the chickens, the cows, we can actually generate income from this property as well. Okay. There is, trees and logging that can be done. We can rent out space for cattle. Okay. In this village. I mean, there's just so much potential with this site. um, there's about three and a half um, miles of riverfront, so kids can learn about swimming and kayaking, and they can have those outside activities. There's caves that are on this property. There's lakes that are on this property. It's just absolutely beautiful. It is the the foundation of this foundation. I know that sounds redundant, but it really is. It really is. I mean, that's just how I see it. I went there and I sat in my truck and I just looked at the property and I was like, this is it. This is it. Now let's build this fund to create and have that space for women and men to go to heal and have that community and get to know themselves, being in an abusive situation. And for those that don't know, 7 long years that I was in an extremely abusive relationship. And I swore in 2015 that no woman would ever go through what I went through. And that's what I've built from that day forward. I've helped heal women. I've coached women. I mean, and then the vision of this village came along. I was like, oh yeah, I definitely got to do this. So that's, sassivillage.org. That's where you can go check it out. There is a picture of, when you click on, if you want to donate, there's a picture there of the front of the house. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's total Victorian and it's just gorgeous. It's home. It's just home.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful, beautiful project, especially on the first one now, I have to admit.
I know, right?
Right, right. Look, it sounds like I wanna go ahead and pack up and move over there, just be the, PD for you, okay?
Hey, I'm going to need all the volunteers I can get, okay, to take care of everything. I mean, obviously the residents there and the community will take care of things as well,
Right.
but I'm still going to, fencing and, but there are barns on the property so that, there's always something when you have a huge farm, 250 acres of farmland that's going to need tending to. So yeah, I'll take any help I can get. And we'll have fun doing it.
Right, right. Noted to understood. Listen, and I love to travel now. I have to I don't know if you can tell me because
Hmm.
um, I know every state is different. There are certain laws, that guide, domestic violence. Um, and the safe places or the shelters of DV, which part of Tennessee are we talking?
It's right in the central part. It's a town called Sparta. It's about halfway between Nashville and Knoxville. Okay, so Nashville is over on the west side,
Right.
Knoxville's towards the east, and it's about right in between it. And right down below, roughly an hour below, is Chattanooga. So it's like right there. Now there are other big towns outside of this town of Sparta, but they're not close enough. Okay. That's one of the huge issues that women of domestic violence and abuse, because they have to go 30, 40 miles away to be able, and this town of Sparta used to have a shelter and they closed it. I don't know why, but they closed it. And it's probably I'm guessing that it just has to do with just not being either funded or run correctly. Okay. But there's definitely a need. I find that a lot of the smaller towns need those shelters first. Okay. Because your big towns are going to have the funding and the capability to have shelters. Now, the other thing is that those shelters tend to be full all the time. Okay. Um, I am fully approved by IRS as a 501(c). That is all done. They know I'm coming in as a shelter. The state of Tennessee has approved me to open shelters in Tennessee, so I'm approved all there. And because I currently live in Florida, I even am allowed. I went through all the proper channels to be able to be licensed to conduct this business here in the state of Florida. So yeah. Yeah. So no matter where I go, I will make sure everything is in place and in line and up to status quo and where it needs to be. Cause I do not that would just like kill me. Okay. If like I didn't follow through on some sort of paperwork or staying completely above board and legal. Okay. And have that taken away because that means my vision is gone and there's just no way I could. I worked
Mm.
too long and too hard to get this up and running. So yes, I will do whatever it takes to make sure I am completely legal and above board.
Right. Hey, listen, that's always the first and foremost important, right?
Yes, yes,
To make sure things are absolutely legit.
yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
I mean, it took some work. I started, I mean, I actually, created all the groundwork and had all my paperwork and all my notes and everything else, for the last few years. And I got my business plan written out. I mean, I started, offering what I call a purple pillow. It's a purple pillow pledge that people can take. I've probably, and that's what the pillow looks like, both sides. There is a card in here for the person that purchases it and for the woman that you hand it to. I started that about 2 years ago. I founded a seamstress in Texas, by the way, to be able to sew and stuff. And so there are now purple pillows in Texas, California, Washington State, Michigan, Canada, the UK, and Australia. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That is so freaking awesome. So you're talking about a year ago, talking about it on this show,
I
right? And
did.
then a year later, we're putting things into action like we didn't have half of this set up last year. That
I
is
know.
so crazy and wild and absolutely cool.
I said, June of 2025, June 30th of 2025, this will be up and running and fully legal, IRS and the states and, everything else. June 30th, I said this would be done. I gave my word to that. Okay. And that's what I did. When June 1st rolled around, I was like, oh shit. Okay, let me get my ass really in gear. And by June 30th, everything was done. Like business bank accounts opened already in Florida, in Tennessee. Like I said, the 501c3, that's done. Being able to operate in Tennessee, being able to operate in Florida. I mean, like everything is done. It's done. Now
Wow.
I just need the funding. I just need donations to continue to come in. I've had a couple of anonymous donations come in. I've had a couple of other, I mean, they come in.
No.
It's, it really is a one girl show here till I can get things more up and going. But everything takes funding, everything,
Mm.
you
No, I
know?
mean, absolutely. Look, this is my challenge. Okay. Or my encouragement is, number one, start in North Carolina too as soon as possible. We need all the
Okay.
resources to help
Oh,
you.
absolutely.
I mean, North Carolina's ranked the absolute world's worst in the whole US when it comes to healthcare. It's like, well, shoot, no wonder. Like, I was in a DV training, and I think I spoke to you about this, where people aren't even allowed to, seek shelter in a DV shelter because they're using drugs, right? And it's like, I get the drug use, but what's more important, saving a life or drug use? I mean, you can save a life and then get them to a treatment program or a
Yes.
resident or a inpatient behavioral health unit, shortly
Yes.
thereafter. And so many people are being turned away
Yes.
uh, because they're using drugs or they have children that are
It's
over the age of 12.
I know, that one kills me. Okay, so you wanna split the family even more? That's one of the things that my villages will not do, okay? And we plan on working with healthcare professionals and, not splitting the family. You can't split the family. That's So the number one mental health issue for women in domestic violence, you would think would maybe drugs and alcohol. Okay. Do you want to take a guess, Kevin, what it is?
Family.
Homelessness,
Uh-huh.
because they don't want to split the family. So what
Right.
do we turn to when we're homeless and we feel like we're at the very bottom of the ladder and no way out? We're in a hole so deep, so big. What do we turn to?
Drugs, alcohol.
Drugs and alcohol. I was
Prostitution,
there.
the whole 9, like, I mean, it's literally drugs. It's what the, '70s was, right? Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I
That's
mean,
it.
and I'm using it as humor, right? And we're sitting here using it as humor and talking about it, and we're having a great time, but reality is that's the truth,
Yes,
and it's
yes.
sad.
because I was
Understood.
there. Okay. That was the only way I knew how to deal with it's, the alcohol abuse was direct correlation because of the domestic violence that I was enduring. Okay. How else to, because back then, and I know it sounds crazy, but I mean, this was 2015, 2012. I married this man in 2000. I met him in 2011, married him in 2012. 2015 is, when okay, 2015 is when he shot me in the head. Okay. I had attempted suicide 3 times because of this man. 3 times I attempted suicide. What
No
else
health
could I
care.
do but turn to, right, the healthcare? Right. We didn't talk about it, even though that was 2015, 10, 11 years ago now. Okay. We didn't talk about it like we do now.
Mm.
These women, they still don't know where to turn. And when you do call a shelter, that's exactly what you get. Do you have children? Oh, because I called. Okay. I know this from experience. I called. They ask you a ton of questions instead of saying, all right, you know what? Come on. You got to have that one on one connection. You have to have that. Are you in danger now? No. Can you get to the shelter? Yes. Great. Come on in. I mean, it really is that simple. And then you can sit down and have a conversation and let that woman release everything that she's been dealing with for years. Some of us, years. And even though it was 2015 when he shot me in the back of the head, I never left that relationship till 2018. It still took another 3 years to be able to work out all the details to get out of that because we lived in my home. I had a hard time getting him out of my home. I owned it. So, I mean, it's
Um, no, and unfortunately, things like this happen quite often,
yes.
and
Yes.
people don't understand. And I think I would also like to say that, and I'm gonna call out some of my fellow colleagues, not the people I currently work with. Okay, when I say colleagues, my brothers and sisters in healthcare. Okay, so again, none of the folks I work with, they're amazing folks, but I consider everybody in healthcare my colleagues. All right, so I'm calling out my fellow colleagues. Uh, we need to do a better job at assessing, at identifying resources,
Yes.
at providing resources. There's so many times that, even with the simple idea of human trafficking, right? Because DV and human trafficking are very highly correlated. People don't know it. And I'm sitting there meeting with I was meeting with a she must have been 2021, been in the States, about 4 or 5 weeks, and attempted suicide. Well, in my assessment of her, every red flag for human trafficking went off, and I had people step in and tell me I need to quit assessing. Yeah, I need to quit assessing them. You're good. They said they're best friends with the coyote. They're good, and I'm like, when's the last time you did human trafficking
Right.
training? Like, when's the last time you did DV training? People don't just kill themselves or attempt to kill themselves, attempt to suicide, over, for no reason. It's a reason people attempt attempt.
Yes.
And this individual ended up in front of me because they had a gush about that long in their arm from them
Oh,
taking the, you know, and I mean, people who work in healthcare, regardless of your level of area, from a MD to a MP to a social work to a whatever, right? Every level, I do believe, if you have significant, or even the little bit, the smallest amount of patient care or patient type of, patient whatever, right? You should at least have some type of training in domestic violence,
yes.
human trafficking, sex
Yes.
trafficking, labor
Yes.
trafficking, things like that.
Yes, yes, yes. I cannot agree more. And the other place that I think needs more law enforcement.
Mm,
Law enforcement, they need to because we have what's going on now is it's real easy to it's too easy to say I'm being abused. Okay. He's a narcissist. Okay. I hate that word, the way it's being thrown around right now. Okay. Because the way people throw it around is not correct. Okay. You and I both know the full definition of narcissist. Okay. And narcissistic tendencies. Okay. But it's real easy now for people to say, oh, he's a narcissist. Really? Are you qualified to call him or her a narcissist?
Right, right.
Because
No,
only a healthcare professional can diagnose narcissism. Okay.
right. And let's do get this straight, okay? Just because somebody is selfish and self-centered to the core does not
Yes.
make them automatically a narcissist, okay?
Yes.
A
Yes.
narcissist
They,
engages in emotional and verbal abuse. Sometimes
yes.
they do get physically abusive, but if somebody is truly narcissistic, like to the core, there is going to be significant amounts of emotional verbal abuse. And I
And
know this
not just,
because we had a guy who was actual narcissistic on this show, and he talked about his experiences and how he treated people, and what he did in relationships.
exactly. And it's a consistency.
Mm,
It's not a one and done. It's not a two and done. It's not a three and done. It's not a few times here and there. It is a consistent way of behavior. And now I am not licensed. I am not a professional. I cannot diagnose narcissism. Okay. I will tell you that up front. I know that. Okay. But I lived 7 years with a psychopathic narcissist or a narcissistic psychopath, whatever you want to call it. And I did my research, and I'm currently taking courses and classes to be able to be certified. Okay. Now,
right.
does that give you the right, to anybody out there listening, the right to be able to say, oh, he's a narcissist, she's a narcissist? No, please don't do that. Please stop doing that. Seek professional help. Okay. Find somebody, reach out to a coach, reach out to a mental health care professional, somebody that can at least guide you correctly into how to deal with a relationship that is, because that's one of the things that we're going to teach in the SASSI Village, okay, is how to deal with relationships. What's a good, healthy relationship? What's not a good, what brought you to repeating patterns within your life that brought you to, because believe me, I will take blame for where I messed up within that relationship. Okay. I know where that came from, but it took a lot of work and hard work and a lot of healing and a lot of really digging deep on what caused me to be the way I was, to be able to say that this relationship was okay.
Mm,
I mean, that was a lot of work, Kevin, a lot of work.
mm,
So that's what I wanted, that's where I think I'm different, okay, is that we actually educate the people that come in there. We don't just say, okay, you can come in, we'll give you, and then you're going to go back to him anyway, or her, you're going to go back in 4 weeks. No, that's not what we do. We educate. We make that person stronger by certain programs that that will be activated within every village. It will be an agreement that you come in, that you sign, that this is what you're here for. It's at least a 13-week program, at least. So you
mm.
can, okay, great. I mean, I'm like, I have everything covered, everything covered. Like, ask me any question. I'll say, yep, that's in there too. Yep, that's in there too.
Wow.
Ah,
Mm. No, and and I think that's important for you to for people to understand that. I love the fact that she says educate people, because too many times I have seen it with healthcare professional after person, family, friends, everything. The first thing that they'd say is, "Oh, well, you need to do this, and you should do this, and you need to do this, and you got to do this." Oh, baby girl, or baby, well, you need to do this. Like, oh,
that's like the worst thing you could tell somebody coming out of a
right,
domestic violence, right?
right,
And please, one of us explain why, okay? Because if you're in a domestic violence situation, what are you constantly, especially if it has narcissistic tendencies, okay? That man or that woman controls every part of your life. The last thing you want to do is go somewhere and go to somebody and ask for help, and they say, do this, do this, do this, do this. That's not going to fly. You have to understand what that person, And somebody that's been through it, that has training like you, Kevin, that has training in it, has then the capability to be able to say, okay, I get it. Your nervous system is totally fucked up, plain and simple. Yes, you're going to have suicidal tendencies. Yes, you're going to have suicidal thoughts. Yes, you're going to be addicted to alcohol. Yes, you're going to be addicted to drugs. I get that. Now, where would you like to start? You put the control back in their hands, because for so long, whether it was 1 month or 1 year or 10 years, that abused domestic violence victim had none. She had none. He had none. And you need to give it back to them.
And that is
That's
important.
how. Yeah.
No, I love
That's
what you're
how
saying.
we educate.
And I love what you're sharing because you are talking about the importance of humanizing, other people,
Yes.
especially when they have been demonized and dehumanized for so
Yes.
long. It's about loving them and caring for them and giving them the power and the choice to, hey, this is the path of recovery. Where would you like to start on this path?
Yeah. And to give them space, because for so long they didn't have it. They didn't have that love. Okay. A true, healthy love. Okay. They didn't have that. If you're in a domestic violence, if you're in an abusive situation, if you're in, even human trafficking, you don't have that love. You don't have that space to just think. Okay. I mean, I think I've said this to you before that, somebody that's in a domestic violence situation, depending on the length of time, there is a similarity to Stockholm syndrome. You really start to believe everything your partner tells you, everything, because it's consistent day in, day out, several times throughout the day, every day, all day long. You start to truly believe that you are worthless, you're, ugly, fat, you're not, you can't hold a job, you can't read, you're not pretty. You hear that day in and day out, you really start to believe it. And your mental capacity, that brain really starts to react to it. That's why we suffer, you know, CPTSD. That's why we have addictions. It's very much intertwined, which is why I love coming on your show, Kevin, okay? Because there is no separation between mental health and an abused woman, addictions, domestic violence. It's all there. You can't separate it out. I mean,
Mm.
that's like a therapist trying to say, oh, you have, all of these, bipolar and maybe your OCD. And I mean, you can't just work on one, you have to work on the person as a whole. They have a mind, a body, and a soul. We have all of that. We have to educate for all of that.
And this is my challenge to anybody who's watching and listening. If you are a healthcare professional, uh, is we work in a efficient system, and our job is to be qualitative in nature. Make sure you're providing qualitative services.
Mhm.
You want to balance between efficiency and quality. You want to balance. And I get the
Yeah.
need to be, to get stuff done, get patients in, get them out, get them in, get them out, get them in, get them out. And like, I get that. And if you don't focus on the quality of that relationship and the
Yeah.
services that you are providing, you're going to overlook everything. You're going to overlook the human trafficking, the domestic violence, the substance use, the suicidal thoughts, the suicidal attempts. You're going to miss everything.
Yep.
As Miss Christine just said, it's a whole person approach. It's not just, oh, let's just, talk about the mental health. Let's just talk about this. Let's just talk about that. No, it's a whole person approach. I love that you brought that up.
Yeah. You're welcome. I clearly you can see I'm very passionate about this. Because I lived it, okay? I lived it. I had no one to, we still, even in 2026, we still hide no matter whether it's, mental health issues, domestic violence, addictions, okay, we still hide all that we feel around that. There's still so much shame, blame, guilt. Okay, we blame ourselves, we blame others, we blame our parents, our grandparents, we blame them. I mean, there's how can you heal when you still have all those negative emotions going on and around? I mean, it's just, yes, I'm very passionate about this. And yes, we are one person. We need to heal the person. That's the only way we're going to heal this earth and heal this world, okay, is to work on one person at a time. And yes, take that qualitative approach, not quantity, not that it's a number, okay, that it's a person. It's Kevin, it's Christine, it's, Joe, it's Susie, they're people. They've gone through some serious shit. Some may never talk about it, may never find. I mean, trust me, this is not easy for me to come on a podcast. And I started this several years ago, being able to go on a podcast. Okay. That very first one, I was scared to death. Okay. And even the first 10 to be able to say, and it took a while for me to be able to say all those things that actually happened to me. Okay. There are some things, there's one thing in particular that I will probably never talk about in my whole life. Okay. But I can tell you that yes, my second husband shot me in the back of the head. He used a rubber mallet on me so bad that he cracked 3 of my ribs and broke my wrist. Okay. I can tell you that I've been abducted 3 times in my life. Not pretty, not fun. Okay. And one of them, the first one was when I was 19 years old. I was held captive for about 5 days, drugged the whole time. I had some pretty crazy shit done to me. Okay. Not pretty. I mean, like freaky. This was not
Well,
easy for me to talk about, but the more I did, the more I healed. And I realized that, but you have to it takes time for women to be able to talk about some of the things that their partners, that person that's supposed to love them unconditionally, that may have done to them. And it just takes time. It takes space for you to just say, okay, I hear you. But you gotta be understanding of what that woman possibly went through, or man. Okay. And unfortunately nowadays men are experiencing some serious shit as well.
mm,
I mean, bruises all over their bodies, bite marks, just bloodied faces. It's like, come on. I mean, there's just no reason for it. If you've got something that you can't deal with, then find a good, there's plenty, guys like you, Kevin, are out there. There's plenty of people out there that, find them. There's plenty of really good people like you and I out there that will do. I can't tell you how much I do coaching on the abuse side and don't get paid for it. I don't care, because I want that person to heal. Pay it forward however you can. That's kind of how I operate,
well, no, you're right, and it, and I'm glad you brought it up because current research shows that domestic violence, as reported by men, are actually underrated or underreported,
Oh,
and
yes.
it happens more
Yes.
often than what we know of.
Yep.
And I would like to say that domestic violence has shot through the roof since the COVID era.
Oh, God, yeah.
And there
Do you
were
wanna
people.
know that? Do you
Do
wanna
what?
know the statistics?
Oh, let's go ahead and hear it. I
Okay,
wanna hear this.
okay.
Go ahead, tell me.
Alright, so before COVID, 1 in 4 women experience domestic violence. I'm sorry, the statistics actually read like this: before COVID, 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence. 1 in 7 will lose their life to domestic violence. Okay? Pre-COVID, men were 1 in 7 that they will experience domestic violence. Hear that word will. in their lifetime. Okay. After COVID, okay, 1 in 3 women are experiencing domestic violence. 1 in 4 men are experiencing domestic violence. The statistics from the National Association actually stated from will experience in their lifetime to after COVID, 1 in 3 and 1 in 4 for men. 1 in 3 for women and 1 in 4 for men. And that's just what you just hit on, what's reported. Okay. There
Right.
are women out there that are being raped, sexually assaulted that do not report it. There are men out there that think they're going to be ostracized and criticized and everything else if they report that a woman, that, this 5-foot woman to this 6-foot man, because it doesn't matter, but they're afraid to report it. Because again, it goes back to if our law enforcement was better educated, they would be able to see and take that man at face value and not just say, okay, can you guys just separate for the night? That shit does not fly anymore because you just gave that woman, if she's committing domestic violence, okay, and abuse, you just gave her the go ahead that, oh, well, I'm a woman. I don't have to be held accountable. I can still do the abuse to this man. What's that man supposed to do? Because now he called the cops. Nothing happened. He wasn't believed. Okay. Whether it's through tone, not education from the law enforcement. Okay. He's not going to pick up the phone and call again. What's he going to do? He's just going to walk out. Now he's looked at, oh, you left your family. Oh, what the fuck did you expect that man to do? He does the right thing, calls the police. He's not believed. Nothing happens to her. What's he supposed to do? That is just fucked up in my book. I'm sorry. That is just not right. That is so wrong.
It is.
So wrong.
No, it is. And, that's why I, encourage that if you are a guy who's listening to this or watching this and you are experiencing domestic violence and you're afraid to say something, you're not alone. Okay.
No.
Many people are in the same situation as you and they're just afraid to say something.
Yes.
And
Reach out, call me, text me. I am all over social media. Find my number, find my text, find my WhatsApp. I will talk to you. I will listen to you. I get it. I understand it.
I was
I
doing some
don't want.
training one time and, this is so I can educate people, right? And this was about a year and a half ago. I called the domestic violence line because I'm like, well, if I'm always giving this out as resources, I should, maybe call and, kind of see what's going on myself, right? Ask some questions, become educated on what they can do and what they don't do. Believe it or not, and this is me calling out the people at the domestic violence hotline, okay? Respectfully, professionally, and, respectfully. I love y'all, love what you do, love your ideals. Would you believe it or not that I was on hold for a hot minute when I called and asked him just to ask him a few, literally the line, and I don't remember exactly how it was worded, but it was one of those, "Sorry, all of our representatives are busy. We'll be with you momentarily." It was one of those, and it's like, if it was a true emergent situation that I needed help, right?
Right,
Like,
right.
now I was calling from my office, and all I did was call and just ask some educational information, and
Well,
that's
then
where
this is where I reach out to everyone listening and watching. Okay. If you think you can't make a difference, you can volunteer at those centers. They will train you how to do it. Be, be someone that can make the difference. We talked about not that in the beginning, Kevin, that we both are out here to make the difference. If you think you don't make a difference, right there's proof that volunteer. Volunteer your time, even if
people
it's
need
one
help.
day a week. Yes, yes. Volunteer, make that difference. Because, again, I I have attempted suicide 6 times in my life, Kevin. 6 times, 3 from the second marriage. Okay. 3 times. Now, I'm still here. I get that I've got a higher power and I get that I've got a guardian angel, but they know I should not be here. They said, "You're up to bigger things, Christine. You need to stay." Okay. Like a full bottle of Captain Morgan Silver Spice rum and a full bottle of sleeping pills. And I still woke up 3 hours later. Go figure. Okay. I get that I'm here for a reason. Okay. But I know what it's like to have those thoughts, to think that you are at the very pit of hell, the very bottom of hell, and there's nothing you can do. There's no way out. You are completely lost and hopeless. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not true. There are those of us out here that really do care and that we are making a difference out here. Reach out to somebody. And if for those of you that don't have those thoughts and your life is great, then help that person that isn't. Learn how to have those conversations. That's the other thing we teach in the SASSI Village, okay, is how to have those conversations. It's as somebody that's listening to somebody that's, has those thoughts of suicide or doesn't know how to leave a domestic violence situation. Or if you suspect that your friend is going through domestic violence or a mental health issue, learn how to have that conversation. Because, hey, are you okay? Sometimes just doesn't cut it. You gotta probe. I've taught this before. Get your friend in a vehicle, go for a drive, and just basically say, "Hey, we're not leaving this vehicle, and I'm not stopping. I don't care if I got to drive to Texas and back, but we're not stopping until we talk about this. I'm concerned about you. I love you, and I want to see you better. What do we do about it?" Get that person to open up with from a space of love and caring. Sorry, I'm tearing up on that one.
No, that's okay. That is okay. I love it. I love it because everything we're talking about is critical. Is critical information. And because so many people think that there's no help, there's no resources. Listen, uh, I was asked last week. I got called. Somebody asked me for some help, and they said, well, listen, I've already been through 3 or 4 therapists. What else can I do? Yeah, and I'm like, well, you do know that sometimes it takes 10 therapists before you find before you click, right? Like, you just don't give up. You just don't not seek help. Sometimes it's literally seeking that 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 12th, even that 100th counselor, right? That
Yes.
you might click with. You might not click with the other 4 or 5, but it's okay. You just move on to your next one. You're like, "Hey, this isn't, what I'm looking for. Do you have any suggestions?" And that's my thought process on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the same if you're addicted to alcohol. I mean, how many times we learn this in AA and NA, okay, that you're going to have slips. You're going to have falls. You're going to fall off the wagon, but you get back on it again. You keep trying. Yes. If there's a problem with the healthcare professional and you don't get along, you have that choice to say, okay, this isn't working. Find me someone else. We have that choice. It's our mental health. We have to that person is doing the right thing by reaching out and trying to find somebody to help them. Honor that.
Yep.
They're doing the right thing instead of, going to the bottle or going to the drugs or beating up their girlfriend or beating up their boyfriend.
Right. No, absolutely. And I think that's the issue that we run into is that people don't realize, like, you know, people don't realize that they can call without being stigmatized, without being, shamed. Had a lady on our show, a few months back, and she literally uh, uh, screams to the top of her lungs, shame-free recovery, and that is very important, I think, because we should be able to seek help, right? seek adequate help, right? And I don't mean help through the bottle. I don't. I
Right.
I don't mean help down a long neck, right?
No, no.
I mean calling up a coach, calling up a therapist, the ED, the 988 DV hotline, whatever, sexual abuse hotline. Should be able to call somebody and be shame free when we make that phone call, when we walk into the doors of that local hospital and say, "Hey, such and such just happened. I need help." Or even when
Yeah.
we walk through the doors at a police department, sheriff department, what have you, we
Yes.
need to be able to do it and be shame free while we're doing it.
Yes. Yes. I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Yep. Free to be, And sometimes we have to be able to see that that person that's suffering may not say, "I need help." Okay? Those are the 3, I talk about this. Those are the 3 hardest words in the English language when you put them together. I need help. But
Mm,
when you say them, they are the most empowering. They give you your power back. Okay. And we have to be respectful that when somebody says, "I need help," help them. If they're not saying, "I need help," but they're asking in their way for help, honor and respect that. "Hey,
right.
I hear you, dude. I hear you, dude. Let's talk. Let's go get a cup of coffee. Let's go sit at the library. Let's go sit outside at the park. Whatever it takes, let's go for a drive." Whatever it takes, honor that person reaching out because they may not say, "I need help." They may say, "Hey, do you have 5 minutes to talk?" Take the time. Yes, always make the time for that 5 minutes because that may be that one time that their last straw where they say, if you say, "Oh, you know what? Can you give me like 15 minutes and I'll get right back to you?" And then you don't call them back. Do you know how much can happen in that 5, 10, 15 minutes? A life could be lost,
Mm.
you know?
And
So
that,
take the time for your friends and family.
right.
Yep.
That right there, friends, is why we do the podcast, is why we bring people on who either are professionals and, deal with the do things like TMS and work in healthcare, all the way to the people who had direct, personal experience, professional experience with certain things, and even people who meet the status of Miss Christine, right? The people who are now professionals and who also experienced it themselves. Because it's about, like she said, it's literally, I think, I couldn't say it any better than what she said. It's literally reaching out, showing people that, help is available, resources are available,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know? So let me ask you this then. What do you feel like is is some of the most critical steps that you need to take as far as,
Um,
as far as, like, moving forward, what are some of your most immediate steps?
Mine personally?
Yeah, with the SASSI Village.
Oh, funding. I mean, that really is where I'm at right now. I mean, like I said, it is strictly just me. I have my board members, but they have full-time jobs, and it is still the foundational stage. Any amount of funding is absolutely. I can't express my gratitude near enough. SASSIVillage.org. Any amount of funding is certainly warranted, because it gets us one step closer. I don't care if it's $1, $5, $10. It is still one step closer to helping that man or woman. And that's what we're all about is helping that one person because they then help the next person and the next, and that is part of our program. That when they are done with their 13 to 15 week program, They go out there and they say they give back. Either they volunteer or they become an employee or they just go out in the community and say, "Hey, if you need help, this is where you go." That's what we do. So, yeah, my next step is just, keep doing what I'm doing, getting the message out there, educating as much as I can, and, raising funds however I can do it. Like I said, I've got the Purple Pillow Pledge. That's on the website as well. I have a sassy affirmation deck that is available. I mean, I always want to give back. I always want to, make sure that everybody gets something for their time and effort of donating to the foundation. I am working on um, a second set of for that woman that is pretty much healed, pretty much stage 2, stage 3, for another affirmation deck that's a lot more, sassy.
I love it. I love it. Wow.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you.
Wow. Now, where can they go buy some of the pillows at and these
Uh, just
uh uh
yeah.
the deck itself?
Yeah, just go to sassivillage.org. You'll see, if you want to donate, there's a spot to volunteer. However, I mean, I'll take anything that, anybody's can do. But there's a spot then that, to be able to donate, it takes you to a landing page. And depending on the level of donation, then that's what you get. If you reach out, I mean, you can reach out. If you just want the pillow, great. Because if you buy one pillow, you get two, one to keep and one to give away. Same with the affirmation deck. You buy one, you get two, one to keep, one to give away. Because we're all about paying it forward.
Right. Right. No, absolutely, absolutely. No, and folks, listen, do know that there's help available. You can call Miss Sassy, right? I love that. I love that name, Miss Sassy. You can reach out to a local crisis center, a local emergency department. There's multiple resources for you to use. Use them. Utilize
Yes.
your resources, folks. Okay,
Yes.
utilize them. So, Miss Sassy, is
Yes,
anybody
Kevin.
who wants to bring you on for a show for maybe a guest speaker or maybe do some training? How do they contact you?
You can reach out on my website, sassyvillage.org. My coaching one is sassycoach.com. Um, email is Christine@sassycoach.com or Christine@sassyvillage.org. Either one works. You just Google Christine or Sassy Coach and I pop up everywhere. Okay. Phone numbers, emails. I mean, it's all over the place. You can't not find me. I've been doing this too long, Kevin, to not be out there. I'm
To
like the
not be able to be found, right?
exactly, exactly.
I love it, I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, Folks, you heard it here, okay?
Mm.
Help is there, alright? Help is there. Just use it, seek it, do everything that we spoke about, recognize, become educated, uh, and please do support Miss Christine and her vision of domestic violence shelters. It is our request. We fully support it.
Oh, yes, you do. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. As soon as she gets up and running, we're gonna get her to sponsor the podcast, right? Oh, honey,
Oh,
you are up
awesome.
and
I
running.
love it. Yes.
You are up and running,
Yes, yes,
we need
yes.
you to sponsor the podcast.
Let's talk afterwards. Absolutely. I would love that. I think that's a great idea. Yes. Yes.
Wow, that'll be so cool. Alright, so listen, folks, that being said, check us out, okay? Check us out. We are the One Moment Podcast. We're across 40 something odd different platforms. I'm not even gonna name them off. Just know that we're very out there, okay? We're out there. Thank you, Miss Christine. I
Oh,
sincerely do
thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Kevin. You too. I appreciate it too. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone.